All right, guys, we're back from the range, and this is part 2 of the MRO for Trijicon. So we got about a half a day of range work on it, so I'm going to run through, jump right into the details of what we did and what we found with this optic at a first glance out on the range. The first thing we did was obviously zero the optic. So we zeroed it at 50 meters. One of the things that I really liked about it was the fact that we could zero it so fast. So give you an example, I shot at 50 meters, one round. It was 4 inches high, 3 inches to the left. So I took that opportunity to dial it in by making sure these adjustments, windage and elevation, move the way we'd want them to move. Because you know there's a lot of optics on the market that when you move it 4 clicks it jumps 6 inches, or if you move it 25 clicks it moves 1 inch. So this was pretty accurate. Moved it down 16 clicks and I came down right below that black 1 inch circle, and so that was pretty dialed in. I came over 12 right and dialed it right into the center, and within about a minute and a half or less I was starting to put a 10 round 1 inch group, sub 1 inch group in that black circle. So that was super cool. Biggest reason why, because from an instructing standpoint, or when we're running a class of guys, you know, everybody's out there, we're running caps and trying to figure out which way it goes and looking at the inside of their caps or losing caps. It's pretty self-explanatory on the back of the MRO, up and right. And we had our flathead screwdriver, we adjusted it, got on target super fast, and went right back to shooting. So that was cool. So big check in the box there. As far as some of the questions we've been seeing online, we've been reading those and trying to get as much information as we could on them in the time we've had so far. So one of the big ones was, you know, the 2 MOA dot. 2 MOA dot. Is it clear? Yes, it is. It's absolutely precise. Now that's, you know, providing you don't have astigmatism, because as you know, if you have astigmatism, those dots can get oblong and look like little ovals and flashes. And we have some guys here that have astigmatism, so we had them look through it, and there is still a astigmatism issue with that, with every red dot optic that we found. With the magnifiers, we did find a little bit of a difference there, so I'll give you that information here in a second. But as far as the 2 MOA, shooting it on the zero and then pushing it out to 500 meters, which we did, the precision was nice and clean and crisp, and no problems there. The next question we had was POV view in the sun, so looking into the sun with the red dot optic. Some of these optics, I know even the aim point, as good as an optic as that is, when you point it into a bright light, which we had great conditions for that, it was 110 degrees, very white out, kind of, you know, sand environment, range environment. Sun was directly overhead by the end of the day, so we had a great opportunity to test that. Now we still got a lot of LED on the aim points. On the Trijicon, no matter what angle we put it at, we could not pick up the LED, so that was a check in the box there for that, for you guys that are concerned about that. Now, even if I've got LED view, it's not going to hinder me from taking a shot. I can still see the red dot just fine. You just may have a little bit of distraction from the board on some other optics. The other one was the 3x magnifier. How does it look? So we had 3 different magnifiers. Got our EOTech, which was not working very well for us. It's we've damaged it quite a bit. And we had the aim point, and we had our Vortex VMX 3T. So we tested those, and so I'll show you guys on the video here. When you're looking through the aim point, there it goes from 5, setting 5 right there, started at 3, and then we went up to 6 at the brightest point there, and then came back down. Now if we look at the Vortex, it was a little bit harder to get that point of view because of the way we had to hold the lens on there. And then you can see increasing up to 4 from 3 there, 5 to 6 now, and there's your brightest setting. So again, nice and clear, and the difference that we found between these was with guys that have stigmatisms. The Vortex, they're pretty good about making some of their other line of optics that really help people with stigmatisms. And the Vortex actually got rid of one of our guys here. He had astigmatism looking through the 3x, and it was a nice clean dot again when he looked through that. So just to give that information out there, because sometimes that helps. The other one, questions we had was the color of the optic, because you know on the RMR, you've got that blue tinge that you see when you look through the optic. Okay, then you have the SRS that also has it as well, and then the aim point is pretty clear. The MRO does have a light bluish tinge to it that I can pick up. Some people can't pick it up, but it's barely visible, so I would call it negligible as far as color there. So that's not a big deal as far as that, just to answer those questions on point of view. As far as distance shooting, I love pushing red dots out the distance. I know a lot of people say you can't do it, but we push them pretty far. I like running optics out to 700-800 meters just to show and understand what the bullet does, because the bullet never lies, as we always say. So we had an opportunity to go quick speed drills, 50, 100, 200, 300, and then pushing it out to 500, as you can see from the video, and nice consistent hits, precision, and that was good. Speed drills, we did a lot of speed drills. We did some visual tracking drills. We studied the human eye and saccadic eye movements and visual tracking again. So we really push the optics super fast to see if the field of view issues really help us or not. And obviously with the 25mm objective lens, it certainly helps for faster picking up of the target versus other optics. Now I don't have that problem on T1s or T2s either, but you do see more with this particular optic. The only difference you might see between some of these red dots and the MRO is a slight bit of parallax. Now, every optic has parallax. I don't give a shit what any manufacturer says out there when they try to sell you a parallax-free optic. When you put lenses in front of the human eye, you're going to have some type of parallax. It's just not noticeable in close quarters distances when you're shooting like inside of 50 meters. But when you're zeroing, you obviously want to have that dot centered inside the tube or inside the box, if it's like an EOTech or something, to minimize any possible parallax situation or parallax being induced into the optic there. So with this, because of that cone body, because of the wider field of view, you might see a little bit of, I don't want to call it an image shift because it's negligible of what you see, but I don't really call it a con either, because you're getting that wider field of view. So you're getting a benefit with that and not slowing me down. I could still see the dot clear as day, moving super fast, trying to really pick up those we call them visually guided saccades with the eye, and really trying to track the dot and bringing the dot into the eye line and shooting fast. No problems there at all. So that was pretty fast. As far as battery, I'm going to keep it on setting 6 for right now. I'm going to keep it bright while it's in storage just to see if I can run that battery down over time. So maybe hopefully 5 years from now I can tell you it's still working. As far as on the range, I had it on setting 5 and 4 for the speed shooting. Setting 3 worked out really well, even in that really bright setting for zeroing. Durability, not going to take a hammer to it, not going to blow it up, not going to throw it over the wall 50 times or out of a helicopter. That's what Trijicon and all these other great optics companies are for. They have their own built-in environmental test chambers and dust, mud, sand, impact testing. So I put a lot of faith in those guys that they've already done that. So I'd rather use it myself in a range environment, tactics environment, vehicles, low light, and just keep hammering the hell out of it and see what happens. So time will tell with both battery and durability. But again, I have no doubt there. So huge checks in the boxes for us. It's an optic that I can certainly stand behind. And if you guys got any more questions or anything, post them so we can keep giving you guys feedback. Stay sharp, be safe. I'm Travis Haley. Thanks for joining me.